Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bull's Central. I wanted to do for the channel here a few videos about the Fallout series. I wanted to do that kind of in honor of the new Fallout show that's on Amazon Prime that just debuted. And I wanted to do it because Fallout is a really wonderful gaming series, very storied, legendary gaming series. It also happens to be my wife's #1 favorite gaming series, just about. If you asked her, she probably wouldn't be able to pick just one, but I would pick Fallout for her because it's the one that she's played the most that I've ever seen. Fallout is not necessarily my favorite Bethesda series. My favorite Bethesda series is definitely Elder Scrolls, but I do like a lot of Fallout. I've played a lot of Fallout. I played Fallout 3 pretty completely. I've played Fallout 4, 76. But I'll tell you one that I've never really touched, really, is Fallout New Vegas. Believe it or not, like I said, back in the day, I did play Fallout 3, but I kind of skipped Fallout New Vegas, and I skipped it because there was, when it came out, some of you will probably remember this. This is a 14-year-old game at this point, believe it or not. This game came out in 2010, verging on vintage or retro gaming at this point. I don't know if you remember this, but when this game originally came out, it was kind of known to be full of bugs. Even on like the Xbox 360 and the PS3, it was that's what I heard about it. Okay, so I kind of avoided it, and you know what? Like, I avoided it for months, and months turned into years, and years turned into a decade and a half. And now that this Fallout show is on. And it's a great show, by the way. You ought to go check that show out if you're into hyperviolence and strong adult content. It's a pretty glorious, debauched show, very similar to the games. That's why I wanted to do this, because the games and the show have a lot in common. New Vegas is a different beast from the main Fallout series. First of all, it wasn't developed by Bethesda proper. It was kind of outsourced to Obsidian Entertainment. And Obsidian has a long and storied franchise history as well. They've made tons of really great stuff over the years. But it shares the DNA of Fallout 3, but it's got a different mindset. It's got a different attitude. First of all, they decided to set this wasteland. Now, if you don't know anything about this the story behind the context for Fallout, in the future, a 1950s Cold War style future, there is a nuclear fallout. People escape into these vaults. They come out of the vaults eventually, and the wasteland is waiting for them. This is many years after that. The Fallout timeline, it's just been reissued, and it's very complex, and I have seen it, but I don't want to go into too much detail. This one, so they kind of amped up the insane or more quirky aspects of what was already kind of definitely in the DNA of this series. And they took Fallout 3, which was kind of a great reimagining that Bethesda did, making it a first-person shooter, first of all, but making it a big adventure in the style, sort of their Elder Scrolls series. And they decided, you know what, we're going to set this in Vegas. We're going to call it New Vegas, but it's Las Vegas. It's like the Mojave area. And we're going to make it a little bit wilder. We're going to make it a little punchier, a little more quirky, a little more interesting, a little more fun. Different ideas, different prospects, amp up the weaponry and keep all the stuff that made Fallout 3 really great. But just juice it up a little. I think that was the prospect. And they did a really great job with this, because Fallout 3 is a great game. Don't get me wrong. And I really love Fallout 4. Stay tuned for a video about Fallout 4, and we may do a video about 76 as well, which is not a great game, generally speaking. But again, I avoided New Vegas. I shouldn't have. I should have played it, especially, a few years later once I was sure, or at least once it was on Xbox One. By the way, I'm playing this on Series X. And I was hoping that there'd be a 4K patch like they did for Fallout 3. No such luck. There is an FPS boost, which you won't get the benefits of in this video because I mix everything down to 30 frames a second anyway. But anyways, I found that this was just more enjoyable than Fallout 3. Fallout 3 is a great game, but it's just, I'm like really driven to quirkiness. I'm really driven to big ideas. That's how I approach my writing because I'm an author. That's how I approach my reading, especially comic books. I'm a big comic book fan. Okay, I love DC and Marvel comics. And that, you know, those comic books are all about the big ideas. They're all about the huge concepts and the strange ideas and stuff. You know, walking up to a flag of the New California Republic and it's a two-headed bear because of the nuclear fallout. Little quirky ideas like that, but it's also it expands the storytelling. The gameplay is fine. It's stilted. It's stilted compared to modern standards. It's actually hard to shoot much of anything on a standard Xbox controller, I found, compared to like Fallout 4, which is just smooth as butter, really. Which is why they have the VAT system. That's making a return from Fallout 3, this idea that you can actually individually target body parts. But apart from how it plays, because it plays like Fallout 3, again, like coming across an enclave of wasteland zombies, which are known as ghouls, and finding out that they have a religious preoccupation with rockets and that they're trying to ascend to some heavenly place through these old Cold War era style rockets. Stuff like that, having to, you know what, just trying to become the boss of the Las Vegas Strip, because you're bumping off other people, you know, having to seduce crime bosses if you pick the Black Widow trait, which I did this time. I may play this again in the future because I really did enjoy it, and I don't mind a little retro gaming. I was a gamer 14 years ago. It's not actually that long ago, people, trust me. So yeah. I don't know how else to encapsulate this thing. Bigger ideas, more interesting ideas, and the setting is really wonderful. Like, you know, this area of the North American continent is kind of wastelandy anyway on a good day if you go out there. But anyway, that's all I got to say about Fallout New Vegas. I hope this was a good video. I hope it was instructive. I'm trying to share my appreciation for a new game that I've just experienced for the first time.
School when I was 9, told me she had feelings, she had lied. Can you